Morning, everyone. Boker Tov. So we're in the Ramah and Taf Tzadi Dalet, which speaks about dairy on Shavuot. So the Ramah says the following, that the nohagim to eat dairy. He says specifically on the first day of Shavuot, and he says that the interesting reason that just like on Pesach, we have to have food that's zecher, the Korban Pesach, and also zecher to the Chagigah. The Chagigah is the Korban that was brought on every Chag, Pesach, Shavuot, and Sukkot. So too, on Shavuot, we should have two types of foods. Eat milk and we eat meat. And he says that we should have also two breads, a bread that's brought with the milk and a bread that's brought with the meat, because that is for zecher the shnei halechem. On Shavuot, there's an offering of two breads made out of from wheat specifically, as on Pesach there's an offering of the omer from barley, and this is from wheat. We're elevating to human food, from animal food, barley, and therefore to have shtei halechem, a zecher of shtei halechem. So this is not our minhag, but this is the minhag of the Ramah. I'm not sure if some Ashkenazim, I'm sure, still do the bread thing. Definitely they do the dairy thing, and particularly the way he says to do it is to start your meal with dairy and then have a pause in your meal, put all the dairy stuff away, whatever, etc., wash your mouth out, and then do the meat meal. Now that could get into issues. You got to be careful. I remember a Rebbe of mine telling me that one side of the kitchen they dedicated for milk, and the other side, and because you're allowed to cook on Chag, so they were like cooking something on that side for milk, cooking something on that side, and one of the kids came and took the fork from the meat and put it into a milk thing to flip, a crepe to flip over, and the whole thing. So he doesn't do that anymore, and you got to be careful with these type of things. In general, this wasn't our minhag. I spoke to actually Rabbi Esayag yesterday about a few other things, and one of these things I discussed this with him. And he says that in Morocco they had 1 spoon for dairy that was to mix the milk, and 1 knife for the butter. All they had was butter and milk for dairy. They didn't have any other types of dairy dishes or things like that. So certainly on Shavuot didn't have dairy. He says nowadays we do dairy. We're used to it from what our children bring home from school and this. So we could have dairy, but the ideal way of doing it is having like a dairy type of kiddush, let's say, and then doing your meal, a full meat meal. If one does a dairy meal as well, it's still beseder, but ideally it should be done in that way. The Mishnah Berurah does say the famous reasoning for why dairy. He says in the name of a gadol echad, is that when Bnei Yisrael received the Torah, then they got the Torah, and now there's the rules, and the rules for meat is very strict. A slaughter, a proper knife, etc. So when they came home, like, okay, it's going to take time to get meat ready. So the only thing they were able to have was dairy, and therefore for a zecher for that, we have dairy on Shavuot. Also, as we say in Shir Hashirim, devash v'chalav tachat leshonech, the Torah is compared to milk and honey, and therefore there's a custom as well to have honey in addition to the milk that you're having. Let's see if I left anything out over here. And just to be careful, if one does this, then just to be careful again with milk and meat, especially having one right after the other. Okay, that's that for today. Minichat tonight at 6:55. Have a good day, everyone.